have them in your hands, nice and loosey-goosey. Let's roll the shoulders up, back, and down a couple times. Step out just a wee bit. Wide stance, abs in, tailbone long. Let's keep rolling the shoulders, but I want you to bring your palms to face you. Bring the shoulders up, bring them back and down. So starting with a little bit of an upright row. And we're doing a slow motion. Reach up and over, point the opposite leg. Working those shoulders, tops of the shoulders, a little bit in your trapezius. Most of us don't need to work that too much. Good, last two. Last one, hands come here, 90-degree angles. And we're gonna pick up that pace a little. Every time you step to the right, I want you to give it a little lift to the right. When you lift up, you are pouring your Guinness, your 13 million pints of Guinness out of the end of the dumbbell. So elbow goes higher than your wrist and thumbs point down. Good, last two like that. Last one, hands to the side. We're gonna switch it up. You're gonna do that same movement when you go to the left. Actually, we're gonna make it a straight arm movement to the left. Lift. Palms are facing down now. So by this time, I'm hoping your shoulders are starting to feel it. Oh, my heart. 4 more. 3, 2. Last one, hands right here again, 90-degree angles, nice and easy. We're gonna keep that step touch going. We're gonna keep this 90 degrees, but we're gonna lift those arms so that elbows are right in front of your shoulders, hands are right over those elbows. Squeezing in and opening up. Good, hold them in, reverse it. So you were opening and closing, you're still opening and closing, but just the other way, the other step, if that makes sense. And relax that down. Woo, hopefully those arms need a little break. All right. We're going to turn the palms to the back of the room. We're going to lift the elbows a little bit, but we're going to try and do it without raising the shoulders. We're going to add a little hamstring curl and press back with those arms. Straight arms, palms to the back and the ceiling, I guess. So hamstring curl, tricep extension. So make sure you get those arms completely straight or you won't feel anything much going on. But a lot of repetition, low weight, high reps here for those triceps toning. Now I want you to keep the arms going to the back, but I want you to turn the pinkies up and out and make the bend a little bit out to the side. Hopefully you can see. So now instead of going straight back, I'm going out on an angle. So now I moved it, the emphasis from this part of the tricep to this part of the tricep. So pinkies are facing the ceiling. Good. We're going to keep that tricep going, but we're going to bring it to a knee lift. Triceps still going. 4, 3, 2. Last one, palms face front. Way out here. So straight arms, bend and straighten, bend and straighten. So it's not this, right? It's this. Reach me, don't bend. Reach, reach, reach. Straight arms, straight arms. Try not to emphasize the pull in. but the stretch away. So your biceps should be achy breaky shortly, and relax that down. Woo. We're going to start to bring those knees across, and arms are here. Rotating nice and slowly. We don't want to do this too fast and do like a golf swing on our vertebra. In a moment, we're going to stay on your right side. 4, 3, 2, but we're not going to go fast. We're just going to make it nice and controlled. But a good rotation, right? Keep your elbows at shoulder height. Try and lift your knee toward your elbow rather than your elbow down. Just to the one side. Last 2. Woo, last 1. Relax that down, step out. We have the other side. So twist and step, twist and step. Again, elbows stay shoulder height. Rotating to the opposite side. Good, last 2. Last 1. Oh, uchi mama. Let's relax those shoulders, step out. Palms are gonna open and flex. Squeeze, so you open your chest, feel a stretch along your biceps. Let's let that spine arch and then close it down, round, open, flex, lift, round, open, flex. Good, couple more, just movement through the spine, movement through the arms. This time as you come forward, you're gonna bend those knees. We're gonna roll through a couple cat leprechauns. Oh, it's up me lucky charms. Silly Millie Potter. Top of the morning. Those are your leprechaun sayings. Or mine. All right, this time extend that spine, drop that right shoulder in, look over your left. Let's go the other way. Back through center, round it. Stretch it out. Beautiful. Round it, stretch it out. All right, our legs are nice and wide. We're going to do some wide angle push-ups, wide feet, wide arms. Walk it forward just for the chest. We're not even going to worry about the triceps right now. Shift it forward, tailbone under, abs drawn in, lift those thighs, lower and lift. Almost there. All right, let's shift it back. Hang upside down for a second, bend those knees. Bring your hands to center, shoulders out of your ears. Place your right hand at center. Lift that left arm. Opposite knee bends. Bring it down, left hand to center, right arm lifts. Beautiful. Again, come back to parallel, round through your kitty cat stretch. Open through your leprechaun. Beautiful. Big deep breath in. Exhale, legs are nice and wide. Turn those toes out a little extra. Pull the abs in. We're gonna come down into a plie, lift the toes. Nope, lift the heels, sorry about that. And come up. Heels down. You come down, heels up, you come up. Beautiful. Now, you're going to keep this going, but you're going to grab your weights to add on to this. Sorry, I did it the wrong way. Maybe I didn't. I'm confusing myself. Upright row out to the side. Upright row out to the side. But don't lose the lower body just because you're adding this on. If this confuses you, just put that either at your hip flexors or on your shoulders, but let them rest there, right? So fingers are holding them down in place, or you're doing the arm movement. Tailbone long, gliding down that imaginary wall. Two more. I want you to stay down, put your heels down. Widen your stance a tiny bit. Pull the abs in a little more. Lower the tailbone a quarter of an inch deeper. Stay here, lift your heels, lower your heels. No movement up and down, nope, nope. Body stays right down here. Quads should work. Heels are lifting and lowering, so calves are working, right? So we're staying nice and low, good. You should start to feel this in your calves, and I'm hoping that your quads are starting to shake a little bit. It was nice having you. Four more. Last two, last one. Woo, stand it up. Lose the weights onto a chair. Let's give those calves a quick stretch. So step back with that right foot, lunge it forward, left knee bends, press that right heel down. Keep your booty coming forward, not sticking out, bend that knee. Roll it up. Turn your toes in and your heel out and lunge and bend and roll it up. Heel out, toe out, heel in, press it forward, lunge it and bend it and come up. Left leg back, lunge, bend that knee a little bit. Roll up, toes in, heel out, lunge, and bend. Woo, roll up, toe out, heel in, make sure both hips are even, and then bend it. All right. Let's grab one weight and the ball, or just have the weight where you can reach it for now. Bring that ball behind your right knee for me, please. And weight in your right hand for now. Glue your knees together. So inner thighs are zipped up. Bend your left knee and make sure the right knee didn't come ahead, right? So I should be able to see a little bit of your inner thigh on your right, on your left leg. All right, all I want you to do is squeeze the ball. I want you to bring your right arm out to the side. So arm is lifted, arm is stick straight, out in a V pattern. Straighten it, straighten it. So every time I squeeze the ball, I straighten my arm. Straighten and squeeze, straighten and squeeze, straighten and squeeze. Arm is away from the body. So you should feel this quite a bit in that hamstring and that bicep. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your hand down by your side for now. Squeeze that ball, push straight back. Press the heel as if you're trying to press into the wall behind you. Bend the elbow here, pinky to the back of the room. Straighten the arm and press and press. So both leg and arm are pushing straight back. Tricep again. Low back glute, little hamstring since we're holding it. Almost there. Beautiful. Stand up for a quick second, and then you're right back down to it. Hand is facing your leg. Arm is going to be here, right? Lifting up to the side, working that deltoid again. Leg follows. Once again, you can pour out those 13 million pints of Guinness out of the end of your dumbbell at the end of your range of motion if you want, or you can just keep it straight. Almost there. Leg up, arm up, shoulders back and down. Turn your palm to the front, squeeze back, squeeze the ball. Squeeze back, squeeze the ball. A little rowing motion and a hamstring curl. Almost there. And relax. Woo! Ay, ay, ay. We're going to take that right leg that you just worked, step in front, bend that left knee a lot, tailbone, long flat back. Right leg is straight, back is straight. Roll those toes up and back down for me, please. Roll them up, nice long spine, back down one more time, roll them up, bring it down, bend that knee, roll forward. Okay, we're gonna do the other side. I'm gonna shift just so you can see me better. You don't have to shift sides unless you want to. All right, ball is behind the left leg, bend the right knee. Make sure that your right knee is slightly ahead of the left. Weight is in your left hand, way out to the side. Squeeze the ball, hamstring curl. Match it with a straight arm. Squeeze and straighten, squeeze and straighten. Almost here. I say that a lot. Hand down. Pinky faces the back. Push the heels straight back. Push back. Push back. So again, hamstring, glute, low back. Make sure you're standing tall. And then straighten, straighten. We pick up the pace as we straighten the arm. So it's a pulse at the end of the range of motion for that tricep. And press, and press. Just two more. Woo, all right. Arm and leg, this is where you pour that Guinness out of the end of your dumbbell, or you just lift it up straight if you're saving your Guinness for later. Good girl. You captured the feather toy. Bring it up. Hold that leg there. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. At the same time you row, 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 row. Good. 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, and 1. Woo. Set your equipment down. Straighten that left leg. Bend that right knee. Tailbone long. Good job, kiddo. Toe down and up. Just move through that. Good job. One more time. Extend that tailbone. And we are lifting up. All right. I don't get to move my chair now. We're bringing that ball back behind the right leg this time. Again, have your weight handy. This time you're going to be farther away from your chair so that you can give me a flat back. See that right there? It's not rounded. Extend, or hopefully it's not. It's extending, right? The heel is pushed up to the sky, and we are going to press it a little higher, but we're going to point the toe this time. So we're poking a hole in the ceiling. Spine is long, abs need to be pulled in, and we're going the opposite way with that left arm. Up and out to the left. Good, leave the arm up there, leave that toe up there. Remember that little tricep move we did earlier with the pinky to the sky out on an angle? You're gonna add that on, you're gonna keep poking that hole in that ceiling. Keep it going, almost there, really for real. All right, oh, bring everything down. That should have felt that outer hips this time. So right leg crosses the left, tailbone lengthens, and then we roll it under. We're gonna lengthen it out again and roll it under. And we're gonna switch things up. So once again, we want that long spine. Right knee is bent, ball behind the left leg, so that when you come into parallel, your right knee is bent to keep your tailbone long. And you point that toe to poke a hole in the ceiling. Now you know you can squeeze that ball on the way up for a little bonus. And then right arm raises to the side. Working those posture muscles this time, right behind the shoulder blade. Right knee stays bent, so our spine stays long. This time, leave the arm up and extend it, pinky to the sky. Still poking a hole in the ceiling. And bring that up. Ooh. And we're going to stretch that out. So left leg crosses this time over your right thigh. Ooh, sit that tailbone out, long stretch, press that hip open, round it under, and extend it again. Very nice. All right. We're going to bring that ball, sorry, we're going to bring that ball between our legs, upper thighs again, or not again, for the first time. And then we're going to walk those feet in. So we're in a parallel position. We're going to try to squeeze that ball as much as we can so we have a lot of inner thigh awareness. Then we come up on those tippy toes. Slide that tailbone down an imaginary wall as you bend your knees forward and squeeze the ball. Try to come just to a finger on that chair. Squeeze the ball. Now squeeze the ball, drop an inch, squeeze the ball, drop another inch, squeeze the ball, drop another inch, squeeze the ball, drop. Come up 4, 3, not all the way up, 2, 1, come down 4, squeezing 3, 2, and 1. So you're just going to play with that, lifting and lowering a very small amount as you squeeze the ball. Now be aware of squeezing the ball, not opening and closing your legs, right? It's a squeeze, it's a squeeze, it's a squeeze tighter and tighter. If you don't like the moving up and down, you go to your challenge point and squeeze, 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 squeeze. So it might not look like I'm moving, but it's not completely isometric. I am squeezing. And again, I'm focusing on the squeeze in, not open, close. 4, 3, 2, squeeze as hard as you can. Squeeze and sit a little deeper and squeeze a little tighter. Keep trying to see where can you go, that your quads are starting to burn, your inner thighs are working, your tailbone is long, and then bring that up. Ooh, and then we're going to step back with the right leg. We're going to tuck the hips under, and we're going to bend the right knee so it comes right underneath the right hip. So we're opening up that right quadricep, right hip flexor, arm up, reach behind you, over to your left, up and around, and then ribbon hip together for an even deeper stretch. And then we'll switch it out. So left leg goes back. We tuck the hips, we drop into it. Left knee is right under your left hip. Left arm up and over and reaching behind you. And then it swings down and around. Bring that rib in the hip to connect for a slightly deeper stretch. And then bring it up. All right. Standing sideways to your chair, because that way you're going to be facing your camera to see what goes on here. Fall behind that right leg again, bend your left knee. So you're going to open the leg to the right, but here's what you're going to avoid, right? So that's why you're facing this way, to see what goes on that left side. We're going to do our best not to tip at all. Good. So really control it, focus on what's going on in this hip. It might feel a little different than the one we did earlier because we didn't have this focus on the left hip or right hip earlier, sorry. Stabilizing hip, bring it up. Switch it up to the other side. I know that seemed like a simple one, but if you're really focusing on not letting that hip move, it may have felt a little different to you. So ball behind the right leg, if I confused you. Face your camera so that you can be nice and honest. Left knee is bent, lift it up. So I already feel that hip wants to move a little bit, right? So maybe I could even keep my hand there and have to balance more, right? And I notice, oh, the hip wants to go, oop, oop, right? So keep it nice and stable. Silly hips. Just a few more. And relax. All right, we still have more work to do, but we're gonna head down to the ground to do it. So you're gonna bring your ball with you. And your weights also, please. And your cap. Hi. May I join you? All right, so we're going to start with some hamstring work. So that ball is going right underneath our feet in a bridge position. Arms are long by our sides. Toes are forward, heels are back as if you're a little bird perched over that ball. Pull your abs in, and then it's a straight lift, not a tuck and round. And you're going to roll the ball forward so your toes come up and your heel goes down, and roll it back. So that's all you're doing to start with. That's all. And then hips down. Okay, now I want you to roll the ball a little ahead. So a little different this time. This time, instead of my feet being right underneath my knees, they're ahead. Okay, and we're gonna lift up again, and we're gonna do that same hamstring curl with a little less bend in the knee, and you're gonna feel that a little differently. And as always, if you have your knees squeezed together, we're working those skinnier hamstring muscles, those long, lean, skinny guys. A little extra focus there. And then relax. Leave the ball where it is. Take a moment to give those hamstrings some love. Take a little rock, maybe pull one knee in at a time. All right, and then we're going to go back to that first position, little bird feet over the ball. Deep breath in, and we lift our hips, we squeeze our knees together. Let's see if we can hover our arms. Squeeze those glutes a little harder, and then I want you to lower and lift, lower and lift. Squeeze the knees together. If this is too much on the low back, you can use the hands on the press up so that you focus a little more on the glutes, not the low back as much. Otherwise, hover. Last time, relax that down. Okay, that's your option if you don't like to do the single leg. If you want to do the single leg, roll the ball underneath your left foot, put the right foot on the ground, lift it up, bring the right knee in, point to the sky, and then we'll same thing. We're going to lower, lift, hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, lift, hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that going. Last time, lift it, hold it, 4, 3, 2, bring it down. Ooh, I promise we'll stretch that left hamstring in a minute. Ball under the right foot. When you are ready, press into that left foot, lift it up, point that whole toe to the sky. You're going to lower and lift and hold 4, 3, 2, and 1. Again. Again. Two more. And hold it and relax. Oh, okay. In that right knee, let the foot stay on the ground, off to the right. Ball behind the left knee, hug it in. Open it to the left. And then flex through that left heel. Hey, I just realized they can't see me. Can you believe that? Pull those left toes back. Flex that heel to the sky. You can move the ball out of the way and then straighten that leg. If you're able to hold on to the toes, that's great. Maybe move through that foot, otherwise a little lower, and then left knee bends. And then ball behind the right leg, and we hug it in nice and close over to that right armpit. We're going to flex through that heel, use the ball to support that, maybe even pull back on those right toes. And then again, we can straighten that out and move against that hand, if that works for you. And then we'll bring that down. All right, so now you'll need your weights and the ball. Oh. The ball is coming between your shoulder blades. So be really conscientious that you get it between your shoulder blades so that your upper body is just lifted nicely. If I wanted to, I could support my head and my elbows would be, able to rest on the ground. So I'd rather it be a little too high than a little bit too low. And then both weights in your left hand. If you need to, if your neck bothers you, your right hand will be here supporting your head, or you can roll the ball even farther and get it underneath your neck, or you could even bring it underneath your head. So it's totally up to you guys, whether it's head support or that arched position. If you're back in that arched position, you can support the head with the fingertips. Otherwise, if you don't do that, put those fingers on the left rib cage. Left arm goes up and over your head, stick straight. Notice the challenge that creates on the left side of your body, especially to keep that arm overhead and the ribs flat, and then bring it up. So we go up and over, inhaling and exhale, deeper pull on the ribs as you come up. Exhale, pull the ribs down, keep them nice and flat as the arm goes overhead. Just 2 more like that. Last time, arm overhead, bend it, straighten it, and then bring it up. Overhead, keep the ribs flat, bend, straighten, and up. Inhale, but try and keep your ribs down on the inhale and lift up and over. Two more like that. And this time, arm overhead, ribs flat, bend and straighten, 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 straighten. It's a straight, 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 straight. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Weights in your right hand. And again, I'm supporting my head, right? So I'm going to put my left hand on my right rib so that when my right arm goes by my right ear, I feel the challenge on that right side of the body. And I have to use my core to keep those ribs flat. And then I'm going to bring that right above me and squeeze those ribs even flatter. Inhale up and over. Exhale, bring those ribs down. Inhale up and over. So even when I go overhead, even though I'm not bending and straightening my tricep, I still feel the challenge here in that tricep, as well as the chest when I come up and a little bit of upper back. Then we're going to add on, arm goes by your ear, keep your ribs flat, bend, straighten, and come up. Inhale up and over, bend, straighten, and up and over, bend, straighten, and up. And this time, arm by your ear, get it as far overhead as you can. Straighten it, straighten it, straighten it, straighten it, straight, 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 straight. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whoo, and relax. Let's bring the weights underneath the arms out in a T position. That should just feel good. Ball underneath your head for now. Let's cross the right leg over the left and let the knees drop to the left. Use your left elbow to push the legs back through center, uncross them, cross left over right, and let your knees drop to the right, please. And then use that right elbow to push everything back through center, uncross. And this time we are going to move that ball. If you didn't have it between your shoulder blades, you are going to move it between your shoulder blades. And we're just going to have a single weight for now. We're going to bring that single weight, and you need to not pull on your head because I don't want to hurt anybody out there. So the single weight is just resting kind of mid skull, right? Not way up top, definitely not on my neck, but mid skull. Elbows wide as if I'm trying to touch the ground here. Deep breath in, exhale, pull the belly button in, flatten the ribs. Inhale, keeping that head in that same line, it drops over the ball, elbows wide. We're going to keep the elbows wide. We're going to make sure we don't point them to the sky. We're going to exhale, press into the ball and lift. Inhale up and over and press to lift. So a couple things we have going on. This is that negative to neutral that I love so much. So we start with the head lower than the heart, not a pre-stretch position that we typically get. So we're getting that pre-stretch on those abs, and then we close it down and we just come to neutral, right? I'm not lifting my head up to the sky. The other thing is we have a weight behind our head that we don't normally have. So we're already creating a little extra resistance. We're helping keep that chest open by keeping those elbows wide so that we're actually getting a stretch as you come up and over and maintaining that as our head stays in neutral and our chest stays nice and open. Good. And then on this last one, go ahead, bring everything out of the way, put the ball behind the knees for a second and hug them in. Maybe draw some circles on the ceiling, and we're going to go both ways. All right. So you guys know when we have the ball, I really love to do some instability exercises for our abs. So that's where we're headed, but you will of course always have options. We're going to start in a side plank. So give yourself a fold of that mat if you need. You're going to come up in your favorite version of the side plank, as always protecting that shoulder. Then the ball goes where it just can touch your body. And I want you to sit on it first, or lean on it for a second, and notice where your body is. So I've got a little zigzag, so I'm going to have to pull my knees back and my feet back and my chest back to be in line with my hips. Now I'm going to lift up in the side plank. Oh, it's so much harder. And I'm going to love the ball. Love it. Alphabet. Love, off, love, off, love, off, love, off. This is way harder when you get in a straight line. 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Bring that down. Option to stick with that one. But again, try to straighten your body out and you'll see there's a little extra challenge. If you want to do the balance, you know you're going to put your bottom foot on first, ankle, leave a lot of space on the ball for that top foot, and then lift up. Side plank. Couple more seconds if you have it. And when you're ready, come down and we'll do the other side. All right, so we're going to find our favorite side plank, protecting that shoulder by pushing it back, lifting up out of it, engage those lats. Find your side plank with the ball where it touches you, sit on that ball. So again, my feet are a little bit ahead. I get up, moving back. And my chest is a little ahead of my hips, so I'm going to have to open up and then I lift. And then tap and lift, tap and lift. You can continue, you can come down and then go back to that, or you can come down, try our lovely balance. So of course, bottom foot on first with some space, top leg, bring it up, whoop, straighten those legs, and then side plank. And gently down. Whew. All right, we're going to do a little bit of low back extension and upper back extension because it's just really nice to do with the ball. So as you lie on your abs, bring that ball out so it's off of your mat. Point your toes as always with your kneecaps. Hands on top of the ball, deep breath in. Exhale, press up, pull the belly button in, Press down on that ball and then roll it back towards you by squeezing the shoulder blades together. So you're not necessarily coming up higher. I want to squeeze back so you're using those posture muscles and then come down. Try and keep the kneecaps lifted. They're going to want to, your knees are going to want to sag and bend. Same with those low abs. So abs lifted, knees lifted, deep breath in, exhale to press, inhale to squeeze back, pull everything in, including those abs. They're going to want to sag, and exhale down. Deep breath in, knees lifted, belly button in, exhale, lift, inhale, pull back, stay tall, and again. And relax. Let's take a moment to do a quick little shell stretch. You can let your hips sit back on your heels. And then when you come forward, you're going to bring that ball right underneath your belly button. It might end up under your ribs, your low abs. Kind of depends on what your body is like. Hands apart, shoulders back and down. Tuck those toes if that's how you do a forward plank. Lift up and hover above the ball. So your shirt might touch the ball, your aura might touch the ball. Can you roll forward and back without flattening the ball? So keep going. That's your forward plank with the ball rolling, or you can do your forward plank with either your ankles or even the fronts of your toes on the ball for balance. Knees lift, abs drawn in. Back of the neck is long. And bring it down. Ah, all righty. Let's stretch it out. So we're going to bring that ball behind the right knee and hug it in. Have your weights handy if you want to use them to get a nicer stretch. And then just as we did before, we're going to bring that right foot into your armpit and pull those right toes back as we flex the heel to the sky. Feel that hamstring stretch, so I'm pushing down on the foot to push down, and I'm pulling back on the toes. Then we're going to move the ball as we straighten out that leg. Point and flex against your fingers, or move your hand lower and move through that ankle. We're going to bring that ball back behind that leg. We're going to straighten the left leg, flex through that left heel. Bring that right leg slightly across, and this is where we're going to grab the weights. One all the way over to the right and the other on the outside of that right leg. So I'm going to slide my right hand under the weight and my left hand pushes that other weight against the right leg, deepening that stretch in my outer hip. So it's not a twist at this point, it's a stretch. And now if you want to, you can turn it into a twist. Let that hip drop all the way over. And that right arm slides under that weight for a deeper stretch. You could even see if you could put both weights on your right hand to keep that right shoulder even flatter, you may feel a deeper stretch on that right pectoral. As you come back through center, put the right foot on the ground and let that right leg open up in a passive figure 4 stretch. Then we're going to drag that left heel in, thread our needle, use the right elbow against the right leg, and extend that left leg up. And now just a nice rotation, pointing and flexing. And then we'll bend that knee deeply. We're going to crisscross the right over the left. We're going to press down, and then we're going to grab that ball behind the left hamstring. And then we're going to slide our hands again under those weights on the right side. Both of them if you have that handy. And then the knees drop over to the left, getting that deeper stretch in those pecs. Nice twist here. And then we'll roll back through center and uncross. We'll move those weights over to the left side. Ball is behind the left knee, we hug it in. Right leg can just drop open, ball up against the shin, the calf muscle, and the hamstring to press the heel to the sky. Maybe pull back on those toes, move the ball out of the way, straighten out that left leg, point and flex if you're still holding the toes, or point and flex holding the ankle, rotate if you want. And then we're going to bring that ball back behind that left leg as we straighten the right. And we're bringing one of the weights across onto that outside of that left thigh for a deeper stretch. So just the weight of that weight should give me more of a stretch. Left hand is going to slide under the weight. So I'm getting a nice deep hip stretch now, and I can drop that knee all the way over. And if I feel like my left shoulder blade is lifting up too much, maybe I put both weights in that left hand to encourage that left shoulder to stay down more. As I roll back through center, left foot on the ground, passive figure 4, bend the right knee, thread your needle, flex through that right foot, point, circle, mobility through that ankle. And then as you close the gap, the ball comes behind that right leg. And we'll squeeze that in. And again, if you want to, you can slide your hands under those stacked up left weights on your left, and then knees drop right. Beautiful. Go ahead and slide your hands out from under the weights. Come back through center. Mosey your way to all fours. So it's cat leprechaun, and you can make whatever phrase you want to with your leprechaun. Ooh, as if me lucky charms. Does that sound like a cat? See the newly falter. All right, we're going up high plank, tuck those toes, we'll press back, let those hips pike up in the air, maybe pedal those feet out in your down dog, dance them around if you want. And then wide stance, bend the knees, hands on your thighs, one more cat. One more leprechaun, top of the morning to you. Big deep breath in. We have our curtsies. Happy Purim and St. Patty's Day tomorrow. And we have more St. Patrick's Day